game. You score 3 points in the touchdown yard by throwing a free throw as long as you don't go offside.
I don't care.
It's a sports about.
I can't stay mad at Jackie.
And then you miss a putt, and then you ask for a mulligan.
See, now I wouldn't feel comfortable arguing over anything that was related to sports because I'm not involved in any way, shape, or form with sports. So.
I'm just glad last night's game turned out to be as good as it was. That's all.
It was really exciting. Like even as someone who never watches sports, like I was having a heart attack every time the Indians got a point.
A run. So, they call them runs in baseball.
They're points.
They're called runs.
Let's get the runs.
They're points.
Shut up, Jackie.
Jackie. You're in no position to argue.
See how ridiculous I sound?
Echo.
She just said she wasn't. She didn't like to argue about sports because she didn't know nothing about it, and here she is arguing about it.
Oh, that's fine. She's just feeling empowered because we whooped Max earlier.
Yeah, I also felt kind of douchey, mostly because. I also felt really douchey mostly because when you get Jackie mad at you, you really have to second guess what you're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
It takes a lot to get Jackie mad at you.
It actually does. It takes a lot. I wasn't mad necessarily at you. It was just really frustrating. Like I can keep a cool head about religion and whatever, just because like. When we're talking about art and copyright and all that, it's like talking about my child. So it's a little bit more emotional.
Because I was thinking, geez, it's not like I asked if you were still a virgin. Because remember, that's what G-Man did during a live hangout.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I tried to forget about that. There we go.
Wait a minute. G-Man asked Jackie if she was still a virgin?
Yep.
Yeah, and a live hangout because he's a tool.
Oh my God! Yeah, I would have definitely got kicked out of that hangout.
Mostly for all the expletives you would have given G-Man.
Oh yeah, it would have been one fuck you motherfucker after another. I don't. You know what? Jackie's my friend, and you don't fucking ask questions like that to my friend. Fuck you.
I would have been like, well, G-Man, you're going to have to ask your mama about that one.
He also asked Prudent the same question. And Prudent, to his credit, answered, "It's none of your business."
It would have been funny if Prudent went, well, I did lose it to your mom just yesterday, so...
I would have given him a pass for that.
Yeah, but at the same point, in terms of shuffle time period, I think this was the time period when he was bragging about being like 0.2 of an inch larger than average. So it could have gone really bad.
Oh, I think that's 1/5 of an inch.
Oh, another way he could have gone about it. He could have also asked, "Hey, why are you thinking of taking it, G-Man?"
I know. I don't do that. I'm not gay. Gay's bad. I'm not the devil.
Exactly. Sorry, Bang Fizz, you were saying?
I was going to ask Jackie, so what was this whole thing you got mad at Max about?
Oh, hold on, Kevin.
Oh, no.
Copyright law.
Effie was arguing that copyright should be up in 25 years, and I called bullshit.
Basically, he was playing the libertarian in our little debate of sorts that we were having offline, and he ended up relenting. Which, shows this thing called integrity, which most people that get into such discussions don't seem to have.
Yeah, and that that makes you a really good man, Effie. Like I appreciate that.
And humble and modest. Don't forget modest.
Oh yes, we must praise you for your wait a minute.
Exactly, Val.
Oh hell, Effie.
The paradox. It hurts.
Jackie, are you familiar with a man named David Lowery?
I've heard the name. Hold on. I feel like
He's a musician. He was the lead man in the band Cracker with a C, not K. And Camper
Okay.
Van Beethoven. He is hardcore on this copyright shit. I mean, he and artists' payment for their stuff. You know, and he's big time on Spotify and all those guys' ass for not paying musicians, basically.
Nice mustache.
yeah.
But if you're interested in the whole thing that happened with Google and the copyright law, the copyright person that just quit, fired or whatever, got fired, he's the one you want to read up on because he's got all kinds of stuff out there.
All right. That could be interesting. Like I will want to look into that. Yeah. I don't like the whole thing with the distributing stuff and not paying artists.
Right. Well, you know, I understand his point, and I understand, I get why he's upset. Sometimes it just irks me because it's always on my feed because he never shuts up about it. But I don't delete him and I don't block him. I just just scroll on past it, and keep going. And there's still, that band Cracker started in the 90s, the early 90s. Camper Van was a late 80s band that led into Cracker.
I was going to say, is it like Boom obsessing about the election?
Kind of.
Well, I was Boom obsessing. Wait,
It's a Boom joke.
I know it's a Boom joke, but we all honestly know there's nothing else in the world that's like Boom obsessing over an election.
Are
who's
we
he
on air?
supporting?
Yes.
Yeah, we are on the air, and we just
Who's he
went live a few minutes ago.
Out of curiosity, who is he supporting?
And right now we have 0
Now,
viewers.
I don't know. He was a diehard Bernie supporter.
He's still supporting Bernie.
Last
Yeah,
I heard, he was going to vote for Jill Stein.
Even Bernie isn't supporting Bernie right now. I don't know why he would be doing that.
No, he's supporting Jill Stein because it's right.
Because her policies line up more with his beliefs. Oh, fuck you, bum.
I don't like Jill Stein.
I also don't. I don't like Jill
We're going to
Stein.
talk about this. I'm going.
Okay, we're shutting the fuck up.
All right,
I basically I don't like any of the fucking candidates. I'm just gonna leave it at that, and we're done.
Yeah, let's just not go political because it just gets.
Mute. Are we on air?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we went live. I think like 2 minutes ago. We still have 0. Oh wait, no,
Okay.
I take that back. We have 1 viewer.
Hold on. I need to do something. Penis. Okay, we're done.
No.
Jackie, I wish you'd stop flapping your penis around. Come on.
If I was drunk enough, I'd turn my camera on and never mind.
I have to admit, I did have a lot of fun in yesterday's. I think it was the evening. No, it was the afternoon shuffle actually that we did when we got to sit around and talk about rape for ages. We had a lot of really good rape jokes. And for anyone that's confused by this, we were talking about rape seed.
Oh
yeah, the rape seed.
Planting the seeds of
Granola,
rape,
whatever the hell
rape
it's called.
cultured rape. This kind of stuff.
I was
Canola
actually,
seed. That's
rape.
what it
That
is.
sounds delicious.
It's
I
rape
was
seed,
at-
yeah, canola.
I was actually reading about rape from a Marxist perspective. The whole thing centered around seizing women by the means of reproduction.
Or in other words, grab them by the pussy like Trump.
That was the joke. .jpg.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Indeed.
Glad Kevin got that one.
Oh, I think we all technically got one, but
I wish I could get what?
What? You have
What?
one. What?
That's your problem.
Shut-
Jackie, you have my permission to bludgeon him.
So,
With your
It's a very
Kevin,
blunt object.
with your
so
pussy.
Kevin, how soft is that couch you guys have?
Yeah, really.
The couch is pretty soft. I don't know. Do you want to sleep on it or something?
No, but I think you're going to be sleeping on it.
Exactly.
You wouldn't.
I would never do that to Kevin.
Oh, give
Yeah,
it 2 years, you will.
No, she's not like that.
Okay, actually, okay. There's another pet peeve of mine because this happened a couple weeks ago. At hold on, let me unmute. Kevin, mute. Because this happened a couple weeks ago at the psychologist. Because she said something along the lines of
No.
what? Okay. She just hinted that one day I would leave Kevin, but like that's really dumb, and I don't like
You
it
wouldn't
when
need
people
Kevin or what?
leave Kevin, and which is ridiculous, and I actually kind of don't like it when people say like, oh, in some odd years you don't know how your relationship's gonna be. When I'm like madly in love with Kevin.
No, that's fine. We're just making jokes about him saying what he said and you
Yeah.
sleeping on the couch.
Yeah.
Relationships can get over that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 1980 sitcom humor. I don't think that's ever ended a marriage or relationship.
Yeah, I mean it's like what was the one with Al Bundy? What was the name of that show?
Oh, Married with Children.
Married with Children. It's just Married with Children humor. We're not.
I wonder how often Prudent exiles his blanket to the couch. I'm sorry, I had to go there.
No, we are not getting into another conversation about Prudence fuck blanket. That happened like 2 years ago. It stays in the
That happened
past.
1 year ago.
I think
remember
he's
well.
moved up to the flashlight now. So.
Oh, I should buy him
But-
never mind.
Speaking
Never mind.
Speaking of Married with
I'm
Children.
having a hard time deciding shit.
Okay.
Speaking of Married with Children, best line of the whole series. Son, never try to understand women. Women understand women and they hate each other.
Exactly.
That's actually really true. I have more male friends than female friends. Women can get vicious, and women are much more judgmental than men are. I've found.
There's got to be somebody out there in the community that's streaming. I usually get like some degree of viewers, even if it is like later than usual for a shuffle. Good grief, too. Hello, viewers. Anyway.
Hello.
We start talking politics soon it'll be hello viewer.
Ah, no. It could be
That's
worse.
what-
You and I could start getting into philosophy again. That'll get rid of everyone.
No.
Yeah,
No.
we won't
No.
do that. We won't do that. I promise we won't do that.
People in the room included.
Oh, by the way, I actually had a family member who was arrested for impersonating a police officer. They arrested him after he killed a black guy.
Oh.
No,
Wow. Bad
Bada boom.
joke.
Bada boom. Okay.
Yeah, that one might have actually chafed a little. Ow. Yeah. Even the dogs are looking at the screen angrily. Oh wait, I'm sorry. It's only one of the dogs. It's just Kaya. Oh wait, she's the black dog. Oh, she is black.
Oh, Midnight left us.
He's too busy sniffing his ass to pay attention to anything.
Whoops.
Yeah, I like dogs, but I would hate to be a dog because all that ass sniffing, that's just not for me.
It sounds exhausting after a point.
I don't know. That's usually something I have to pay for.
Wow, I really didn't need to know that.
Just a joke.
Now we know your fetish.
Well, to say it would be my fetish would mean I couldn't have any others. So we'll still wait for those to come up naturally.
What is your fetish? Philosophy?
No,
That was
actually,
You,
we hang
Asian
on. Actually, we have
Asians?
discussed this previously. What he
With
likes to
bodies?
do is take copies of the Dead Sea Scroll, wrap them around himself, and
Oh, theology.
Actually,
I don't know how to finish that. Never mind.
Actually, I was gonna say my fetish is Asian hotties with bodies, and by with
Oh,
bodies,
we-
I mean fatties.
Oh, I thought that you were
Okay, well,
talking about with bodies, meaning that they have a few buried in their basement or
so
something. Never
Asian
mind.
fatties. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can identify on the Asian part, but not so
Asian-
much the fatty part. And I can say that because it's Jackie's fetish too.
Asian BBWs.
Yeah. Actually, bigger girls I've slowly been more attracted to.
Hey man, we're not
Standards are dropping.
Yeah, actually, they had on average they had bigger boobs and bigger asses. What's not to like about
Okay.
what's not to like about that?
no.
Although if there is a fat chick with a flat chest and no ass, I don't know what to do with that. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna stay out of this conversation.
Yeah, Fizz. I think that might be for the best.
I will offend so many motherfucking people out there. Thank God there's no one listening.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we in theory have 2 viewers. Of course, 2 of them are probably in the room. So
I'm not. Oh, I keep forgetting to add these shuffles to my YouTube playlist. Let me go find it. Is it on 13 Shadows?
no, I'm running under Shadow Heathen because fuck that. I just need this for the admin account.
Okay.
Let's share.
Stop looking over my shoulder.
Oh.
Oh, I'm gonna turn my camera on. I'm being attacked by a Jackie monster.
Let me verify that the interface is working. My weird
she
little
just bite
interface is
you?
working. So.
I licked him.
Oh,
No.
I thought she bit you.
Jackie wouldn't bite me.
No.
Well, you keep saying that like it's a bad thing.
My thing came unplugged.
I mean, there are times
that is an actual fetish, biting.
there are times that I make a point of heading out to the kitchen to grab the teeth just to put them in to give the wife a bite. But you know,
What was that? Sorry, my headphones came out.
I said there are times that I run to get the dentures to bite my wife. Now, granted, half the time I don't actually put them in my mouth beforehand, but that's beside the point.
Oh my god. My according to my dad, my grandpa used to do that to my grandma and drove her nuts.
Kind of gross, technically, but of course, I think the funniest time was the occasion that I grabbed one part of my dentures and just started biting the dog with it. The dog's looking at me like, "What are you doing to me?"
Oh my.
I'm kidding. That never happened. But
I could see that happening.
yeah,
I have an actual horror story about someone with dentures, but I'm not going to go into it. It's really graphic.
oh, come on. Is it a good story? Or is it just like porn graphic?
Well, it'll make all you guys in the room go, ow, and cross your legs.
Oh, go
ow.
ahead. I don't
Fair.
care.
Oh,
No.
No.
I think this might be a moment for censorship.
Yeah, this is a censorship deal.
And that's more so because it'll make Fizzy's legs cross too.
Yeah, because it'll bring back the pain.
Of course,
Let's
that
just
reminds
say,
me of a story.
be
But
very careful when imbibing in oral pleasures with a woman with dentures.
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. That's cool. You know.
Oh no. Okay. Comment from the chat, the doctor. But is there a transactional benefit to a bit of biting?
Someone who was here for the prudent part of that hangout.
Oh yeah, apparently.
There's a cat. There's a cat being shoved in my face. Stop shoving the pussy in my face. Oh,
Well,
Grab
have you
the
grabbed
pussy.
it yet?
Grab the pussy.
Grab it.
kitty pie. Oh,
I really got to get that at some point to get that Steve Martin clip. He does this whole routine about meeting this girl at a bar. You know, this doesn't usually happen, so they went back to her place, and she had the best pussy I've ever seen. And everyone, you know, like, and he's like, "Come on, people, I'm talking about her cat. That cat was the best fuck I've ever had." And every time somebody references Trump and grab the pussy, I really need to get that whole. I'm talking about her cat. That cat was the best fuck I ever had. I need to get that clip for whenever somebody makes that Trump reference.
And then follow it up with the cat juggling.
Oh, the cat juggling bit was great. Oh man. Of course, there was
Yeah, I
no
don't think you
actual
can get
cat
away.
juggling, but
I'm not sure you could get away with that today.
the joke, sure you could. It's not like he was actually juggling cats. It was just telling a joke, and it's all about the noise that he had. Of course, the cats are going, yeah, oh, yeah, and that's what it's about. It's
Yeah,
for the sake of the noises that make it funny. Without the noises, it's just like, okay,
What's the point?
yeah. Oh, let's see now. Does anyone actually have a topic other than, you know, like the Cubs kicking their shit out of the Indians?
They didn't kick the shit out of them.
Oh,
It was
come
8-7.
It was a pretty close game.
I still say by Cubs standards, that's kicking the shit out of someone.
I knew it. I knew that World Series. It was gonna go to Game 7. It was gonna go to a rain delay into the 10th inning. It was a fucking nail biter.
What I thought was hilarious, though, I heard a news article earlier about, you know, some tweet that was done 2 years about that people were freaking out about because they predicted it. And I'm looking at the actual tweet, and it's like, you know, that at the World Series, 7th inning, the Cubs tied off with the Cubs versus the Indians, and the world ends. And they're like, oh, they predicted it. And I'm like, no, they didn't. That's from the fucking Armageddon Day Planner. I was circulating that in like 1998, for fuck's sake. The line after that is God taking Pat Robertson out behind the woodshed and beating his ass.
Can we? When is he gonna die?
The last entry in it was the fleshy remains of the artist formerly known as Prince renaming themselves as Susan. I remember some lines from it.
But you know what? In last night's game, I completely put the onus on that rain delay for giving the Cubs the momentum back in the game. Because, yeah, the bottom of the ninth, the Indians really didn't have much momentum, but they had tied the game in the 8th. So overall, the momentum was still theirs.
I don't know, man. You're bolstering the G-Man argument that the Cubs winning was somehow proof of God.
No, I didn't fucking say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
I understand where he's going with that.
I know. I'm just making a divine intervention gag with a rain.
Don't put G-Man in my mouth.
Oh, come on.
No one wants that. Ew. Like, fuck mouthwash. Like, after that, you're gonna need like a root canal.
Just thinking about it, I need fucking brain bleach.
Well, actually, it's more along the lines of the joke that if he thinks that breaking into a fucking safe is somehow a miracle from God, anything would constitute one.
Look, the safe can say yes, the safe can say no, and the safe can say maybe.
The safe did not have a safe word.
Yeah, I don't.
Can't give consent.
Yeah, the safe did not give consent to that. I don't think.
No, I was referring to his canned soup argument.
Yes, we're talking about G-Man safe, and we're making sexual consent jokes about it.
I was actually more alluding to the canned soup argument.
Oh, the soup.
Yeah, the answered prayer. The answered prayer argument.
Hey man, at least we're not making rape jokes like we were a good portion of the day yesterday.
I once asked my girlfriend if she'd indulge me in a rape fantasy. She said no, and I said, "Well, that's the spirit."
Oh.
This hangout better not come to bite me in the ass.
No,
in 30 years.
my wife was actually very impressed. We found a way to actually tell rape jokes without it being offensive. Let's hear it for Rape Seed.
Well, Max, all I got to say is don't go into politics if you don't want this fucking thing to come back and bite you in the ass in 30 years.
You mean grab me by the pussy in 30 years? And yes, I'll take you up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Yeah,
I
maybe.
don't know. I think the biggest problem with politics is just the fact that these people actually want the job.
Why would anybody want to have that? Any of those jobs?
No shit.
I don't get it. I'll be back.
I figure the people that deserve it are the ones that don't want it, so we're kind of fucked. Anyway.
Okay, hold on. I'm actually like looking back at previous conversation, and I actually feel really bad that I insulted you, FP.
Don't worry about it.
I feel so bad. Like I think.
Wait,
Stop
hang on.
apologizing to
No,
me.
hang on. I'm cutting in. Was this during a shuffle?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this was during our copyright thing.
Jackie,
don't worry about it.
Jackie, I'll say this much to you. I think it's good that you disagree with people. I think it's good that you even get upset with people. And I think really you should be more forcible more often. I'm really happy to bring it out of you.
And in terms of, shuffles, even if it's a pre-shuffle as far as I'm concerned, if you're not insulting somebody periodically, you're kind of doing it wrong.
Exactly.
Well, no, because like now that I look back, I'm trying to like figure out what. Because I wasn't meaning to like offend or be
Jackie.
mean, and I think what I meant to say was it seems like you're arguing from a perspective of not knowing what it's like. Not that you don't know what it's like, but that you're arguing from a perspective that makes me conclude that it sounds like you don't know what you're talking
Jackie.
about. That's what I meant to say.
Jackie,
Okay.
Gary,
Okay.
you're really overthinking this. No harm, no foul. It's
Exactly.
not even a thing. It's all good.
Yeah.
We're talking
I
about
just
Max.
don't like offending people.
I don't think anyone is offended.
No, if I were to turn
Sorry.
to Max and tell him that he was a raging twat waffle that doesn't actually deserve the attentions of the gal that he's with, even though she is somebody that actually supports the notion of fan fiction, which obviously makes her a horrible person, he might be a little bit offended on her behalf, but I doubt it. Because he'd know that I'm fucking with him.
Okay.
And Jackie,
By the way, I do have to say that twat waffles do not fit in waffle irons, just clarifying that.
and that's my favorite word in the goddamn dictionary. Well, it's not actually in the dictionary, but it's still my favorite word.
Well,
It should be in the dictionary.
We will add it to Urban Dictionary next Tuesday.
This is why I can't be mean, because I end up like feeling bad about it even like 5 days later.
Wait till you're 50. Then
just
you get over that shit.
Just imagine that I'm G-Man. It'll be much easier
But
on you.
I treat G-Man with respect too.
Hang on, wait, no. I'm picturing Max wearing a long black leather coat and wearing the Ray-Bans. He's a G-Man now. Okay.
And that's an extra. And a fedora.
Oh, not the fedora.
Okay,
No.
okay. I used the wrong word. I treat G-Man in a friendly manner, not necessarily.
So you pretend he's human.
Well, he is human.
I'm not so sure.
I need evidence of that. That would require a DNA test.
Well, just act as if I'm Brett Keane right now. Maybe that'll help.
Oh.
Brett King did call me trash out of the blue once, so.
Exactly.
Brett Keane is a pile of shit. Oh, he called the Atheist Experience the other day, by the way.
Oh my god.
Oh, I still need to get around to watching that shit.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brett Keane from the Brett Keane Hollywood God TV radio show. Click here now channel.
Stop that, or I will kick you. I swear to God.
Okay.
Well.
Or
wait, that's right.
Or we could always go down the Bruce path. Just pretend he's Bruce.
Actually, Epi, what I'm going to recommend to you is somebody did upload just that clip, and Brett Keane then, like a day later, did upload just his side of it, because he just, of course, while doing this, was sitting there trying to live stream on his channel without mentioning it to them, and they kind of called him out on it. and he was sitting there, and on his video, you can hear him talking and this and that because he's talking over them the entire fucking time. But the way he has the audio set up, it's so that you can't hear them while he's talking that well. But on their end, all you hear is this distortion and fucking people trying to call him on Skype the entire time. It's like, okay, yeah, you are the rudest fucker that's ever called. It's like the constant diddle-it, 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 and he has feedback from him not being able to manage actually streaming into the hangout while on a call, and the fucking incompetence was incredible. They hung
Because
up on
that's
him
not
because they
going to
couldn't
work
understand
either.
fuck.
That's not going to work because Jackie's nice to Stiggy too.
Okay, I mean,
I'm gonna keep. I'll just suggest my Brett Keane one again.
Yeah.
Okay, treat me like I'm Brett Keane, but there's a modicum of humanity within me. That should balance it out.
I don't want to treat you like Brett Keane.
With a modicum of humanity, there's little hope, but mostly I'm a douchebag.
Everyone is a valuable human being, even Brett King.
no, he's not. I know.
But I'm not saying he's not a piece of shit. I'm just saying he's a human being.
I'll say this much: I believe every human being is valuable and made in the image of God, but Brett Keane really tests that theory out for me.
Okay, hang on. Now, if you look at, pools in the forest, that you have the sitting water, the kind of water that all those mosquitoes are going to be buzzing around because it's a perfect breeding ground for them. And it's kind of old water, and you have the roots sitting there in the water, and you have that little, your very different kinds of fungus and what have you growing by the edge from the dying trees of the bank because the water itself is somewhat toxic. And that foam, that kind of chemically foam that smells foul, starts washing up on the edge. And it starts accumulating a little bit up just slightly higher than the water line. And then some of the foam kind of melts away, and the rest of it is this weird kind of crusty stuff that ends up forming this fine line going around it. That's Brett Keane.
Now I know why you're a fucking writer, dude. Now I know why you're a writer.
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
That the copyright to that should be extended 200 years after you die. That was so good.
Wow, I thought you only believed in 25. Hey.
Whoa.
It was that good.
Okay.
Oh my god. The one thing that so I have been keeping up with the drunken peasants lately. But that's partly because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts while doing art and stuff like that. And apparently the drunken peasants made this beautiful shirt of a manatee eating mac and cheese. And it is a direct reference to Brett Keane without using Brett Keane's name or image on the shirt, so he can't do fuck all about it. It's amazing.
Wow.
That's the kind of creativity I like seeing. Being able to profit off of someone who is such a loser without actually using his name or image. That's props to them.
Brett's so kind of fucked up that, it's not even worth dope slapping. If I were to dope slap him, I'd pick up Ronnie and dope slap him with Ronnie or something.
It would be pretty cool, though. Maybe in response, he should make a t-shirt with a banana. But, yeah, I don't think Brett Keane's that creative.
Oh, okay. I just thought of someone in the community. I just thought of someone in the community who I actually, kind of...
Darwin's dick hole.
Not even Darwin's deity. Tommy Hall.
Tommy.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, one of my favorite memories is actually when he said a bunch of homophobic shit to you. One of my favorite memories was calling out the fact he subscribed to a lot of these very openly gay channels.
Oh my god,
it's
that was
for
amazing.
Christian research.
Yes.
Or oh, my daughters did it.
Yes, that was it.
Okay.
His daughters did it, but he's not confronted his daughters about Going to. Okay.
And that was one of my favorite memories on on Google Plus.
I don't know the whole.
One of my favorite memories was how much of a backlash he got when he asked what was she wearing.
Oh yeah.
Wait, seriously? When did he ask that?
In some hangout long time ago that I was in, and we were talking about rape stuff, and
Not the seed this time.
he's, huh?
Not rape seed this time, obviously.
Right,
Very
right,
funny.
like actual rape, and he made some offhand comment, acting like, well, what was she wearing, and a lot of people got mad at him. Yeah.
I'd just ask him. So, Tommy, when you're mowing lawns, do you wear shorts? And if you do, and I kind of get sexually aroused by your nice calves, and I don't know what to do with myself, should you be to blame for that?
Tommy's kind of person that if he found out that a paraplegic got raped, he'd be asking what they were wearing. He's a fucking retard.
Yeah. This is a man who believes that America is the greatest country on the face of the earth, and Texas should secede from America. I honestly.
Please don't tell
actually.
me that motherfucker lives in Texas. Please don't.
Yeah,
tell
he
me.
does. He does live in Texas.
God.
Is he actually
Yeah.
one of those Texas secessionists?
Yes.
Oh God. I mean, I'm not surprised at all, but
The fuck?
that's awesome.
Do they not realize what would happen in the state of Texas if they actually pulled off the secession?
America would be better off.
Well, not only that, Texas would lose Fort Hood. It would close down immediately. And all those jobs that come around with Fort Hood and around it go away.
There's a lot of military-owned stuff down there. Like,
right, there is military bases all over this state that would just cease to exist, and all the jobs that go with them would cease to exist.
Well,
And guess what else you would lose? All your federal highway money, all the federal subsidies you get for whatever it is.
yeah, and highways are kind of important to Texas. It's kind of big.
Yeah, well, we're only the second largest state in the fucking union, and population-wise, per capita, we are the most populated state.
Question: how much does Texas actually send to the federal government?
They send more than they get back. Like,
Yeah,
their economy
they're not actually a taker state, but if they fucking secede, they would have a problem.
Out of curiosity about Fort Hood, would the American government get the land, or would Texas take Fort Hood and give it to, I don't know, maybe their own kind of military? They do have the Texas Guard or some shit down there like that.
You know what that is? A bunch of fucking rednecks.
A bunch of fucking rednecks that think that they have that they're badass enough that they could take on the U.S. military if they had to.
Do you remember when the
Texas Rangers? Is that what I'm thinking of? Maybe.
No, that's
the
a police
Texas
force.
Rangers are a state-run criminal investigation society organization.
Oh,
It's FBI. It's a police force, basically. It's a state. It's our state FBI, basically.
The state guard is different.
Kevin Mute.
What?
We have similar idiots here in the Golden State who think it's such a good idea to split Southern California and Northern California.
That's different.
Different. I know it's different, but it's still an idiotic thing to
That's culturally different.
because it would put an imbalance in Congress, and it would divide an already really strong economy.
It would divide an already divided fucking state. Yeah.
The idea is to try to give Republicans a chance to actually win an election again.
Right. In their state, which won't be one state anymore. It'll be part of a state. Or it'll be their own state instead of.
there's even propositions for like splitting the state into six different ones. Like, really?
Once again, it's all about, basically trying to redistrict so it gives Republicans an advantage.
Exactly.
It's bullshit.
It's really dumb. Yeah.
Heaven forbid they just simply put up a
And
candidate that's not a piece of shit.
and also the problem with removing Texas is then I mean Texas is red, right? So
Oh,
you would
yeah.
have like I I would be a hypocrite if I said like, oh, don't remove California because then you're taking a lot of Democratic votes. But maybe it's a good idea to remove Texas because then we don't need those Republican votes.
I don't know. I mean, I think
Yeah.
Texas would be a theocracy within hours if they tried to separate.
No, it would be.
Mm,
There is no maybe.
really.
I mean, it's bad enough what
Oh,
they've already done to
right.
the school system. Imagine if they had carte blanche over it.
And fortunately, our state board of education, who is over the school books of most of the country, because the printers, the publishers go with what Texas wants. They have managed to keep a lid on all this creationist shit going into these textbooks. Barely, but they have.
Well, even okay. The bigger problem though is the revisionism that they tried a couple of years ago. I mean, they tried to make what was it?
John Calvin.
No, actually, not simply the John Calvin thing, but they also were declaring Abraham, I think it was, to be a founding father of the U.S.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Texas.
there's a lot of rewritten history in school books now that did not exist because of fucking Texas.
It's kind of funny. Texas is the only state where the Catholic schools are less religious than the public schools.
Oh Christ! I actually, my daughter went to public school to get her religion-based sex ed, and they went to church to get her comprehensive. Go figure.
But you know what? Texas did one thing right. They managed to figure out a football system in high schools where the religious schools, private schools, have their own division where they play against each other. And then the public schools have their own where they play against each other and they don't mix. The state champion is, the 5A state champion is a public school, never a private school.
I still have other problems because they have this thing that they put in a number of years ago called the Robin Hood Act, in which what they do is they take the monies from some of the wealthier districts and instead of simply redistributing them throughout the state, they earmark specific schools that they go to. So there's one area that all the money that people were paying in basically in their school tax went to this fucking podunk school in the middle of nowhere. And what did they do with it? Did they buy computers? Because the school didn't have those yet. No, they didn't buy computers or new textbooks or any of this stuff. They built a football stadium.
Oh, you mean like in Collin County? Well, I think it was Collin County where they built a football stadium with a faulty fucking foundation.
No, this one actually didn't have the faulty foundation, but yeah, it was still fucked up.
Oh yeah, I mean I get that, but I'm just saying, there are states where the public schools that are low, not funded well, with low income families, have to play football against these private schools with a bunch of fucking rich kids who are funded well, have the best pads, best equipment, best coaches, and their state championship comes down to the rich versus the poor.
Yeah.
And the poor never have a chance because they don't have the same chances.
In terms of, out of curiosity, in terms of, I know in the States one of the biggest problems is trying to integrate the school systems. And oddly enough, the South actually does a better job of this, mostly because of forced integration that happened in the United States after the Jim Crow laws. It's oddly enough the North never caught up with this. The South has always had this, but I really think one of the best ways to fund the school and to cause
Hang
integration.
on though. I mean, I grew up in the Northeast, and now, yes, I lived in a lily white community. There might have been like one black family in the entire town. There might have been, I don't know. But there was one kid that was indeed bused into our high school. I'm not sure what his name was. I think it might have been Token. I might be remembering wrong.
I really think instead of forced segregation, though, the best way to get public schools their funding is this: mandate that all politicians have to enroll their kids in public schools. That if you're the governor, you're the town. If you're the mayor of a town, if you have a position on the city council, if whatever, your kid has to go to the public school, and that way you guarantee good funding because politicians have to look out for their own kids.
Well, we know that's never going to happen.
It's not, but I think it would be a much better alternative than integrating.
Well, you could spread that throughout the national political spectrum too. I mean,
I don't even know if I agree with that. Like,
putting
I mean, we're supposed to be able to make our own choice in what school.
if you want to be in public office, your kids should have to go to the same schools that people you represent do.
exactly.
Not pick and choose a school.
This ties into something that I've been advocating for years, which is that, if you want the best fucking health plan in the world, become a senator. Fuck that shit. They should be stuck with what the poorest in our nation,
Yeah.
How, it goes back, well, let's go to Bible principles, Max. The way you treat the least among us is the way you treat me, or something like that. Was it the quote, or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that you essentially captured it. If you want your kids to go to a private school, don't hold public office. Like, it's that easy. If you want to stay in the private sector, and then fine, you have a right to send your kid wherever. If you're in the public sector and your obligation is to the people in total, then yeah, you reap what you sow.
I mean, I guess I can see that logic.
Yeah, I mean, logically it makes sense. It ain't never gonna fucking happen, but logically it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we know that the congressmen and senators in Washington ain't never gonna send their kids to no fucking public school.
Oh, come on. I mean, you know that they would simply make sure that the school they would make sure that there was one really good fucking school that was a public school and change it so you could select what school you go to and have to apply for. It'd basically be the same fucking thing.
It's still the same deal. It's still you have to apply to it to get into it. Well, that's not a public school. If you live in that district and you live in that area that covers that school, you should be able to go to it.
No, I mean kind of like we do here in Garland.
I don't know how that is.
That you can actually select what school to go to, and it gets fairly competitive in terms of the registration.
In a public school?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's a couple good schools in Garland, and a lot of them kind of suck. But there's only one, for example, that has an IB program. And the way that they actually do their stats is by basically inviting in the best students from varied regions to try and pad out their numbers, and it brings up the test scores for the entire school because of this stupid fucking way we have shit set up with the testing.
When I went to school, if you lived between this line and this line, you went to this school.
And that's it for most areas. Garland's the exception. Garland is the only town I can think of around here that does that. Which is why a lot of people prefer the Garland school system, because there is a choice.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I just don't.
I don't know. I think all this, if we actually just had decent fucking schools all around instead of the inconsistencies, we'd be better off.
Right. Fund all the schools the same, and you wouldn't have that problem.
Consistent education might be a thing, but at the same point, things like this Robin Hood Act that they're taking, and this is the thing, is actually some fucking podunk school in far west Texas, another, lily white fucking neighborhood, and they give all the money from the Highland Park School District to these fucking idiots and all. And we're talking a school, their textbooks are like 10 years out of fucking date or more. and they don't even have computers in the schools for the kids to learn how to use computers or anything like this, which is pretty much essential in this day and age. And what do? They don't upgrade any of this shit. They just they just build a new fucking football stadium. I mean, come on.
Because football rules in the state of Texas.
Yeah, it's a second religion.
Texas, a place where professional football, college football, high school football, and even Pee Wee football are the most popular things around, except European football. That's a secret communist plot.
Okay, most of the Baptist church services that go on in Texas, especially at the mega churches and what have you, can last for hours. This isn't like, the Catholic thing that it's like you go in there, it's going to be about an hour, you're done. I mean, you can have 4-hour fucking services, but if it is Super Bowl Sunday, they're going to have you out of there long before that game starts, so you have time to go home.
I grew up going to a small Church of Christ in Pearland, Texas. We would go to church, and every service, even not during football season, it was about an hour and a half long. We were there by 10. We were out by 11:30 because everybody wanted to get home and watch football.
Yeah.
Now, but this wasn't an evangelical church. It was a Church of Christ. And we didn't have musicians or even a piano for that fucking matter. It was, we sang a cappella, and that's how we did it. But, we had our priorities right. Football came fucking first.
Yep, welcome to Texas.
Now, I don't know if it's still that way today, but,
all I know is that there was this one church, and I can't think of the name of it. It's over by Carrollton, I think. And it's one of these mega churches, big fucking operation. My wife and I used to refer to it alternately as either Six Flags Over Jesus or the Baptidome, depending. And the punchline of it is that one day, as we were actually driving by it, my son, very young at the time, points out the window and says, "Look, it's a football stadium." And we're like, "No, that's a church." And he's like, "What? But don't they play football there?" I'm like, No, they don't. This took some explaining, apparently. And of course, this was before my wife remarried to a guy that's a fundy, and then suddenly decided that she was a fundamentalist Christian. But my son had no idea what the hell a church was.
I'll be honest. As a Canadian, I've grown, just being over the internet, I've grown accustomed to a lot of American culture. I follow football fairly closely. I really like American gun culture. But I also like your history. It's so much more interesting than Canadian history. I think I'd fit in as an American much better than as a Canadian, I find on some days.
I'll trade you.
You like our gun culture?
Maybe, yeah, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
It's just disappointing to hear. But that's okay.
Well, I mean,
I don't mind people like guns and they want to own guns. I don't care. But there needs to be some common sense to it. And the fact that I can, as a felon, a convicted felon in the state of Texas, I can go to a gun show and either go to the parking lot or go find someone inside the gun show who's not a federal dealer and buy a gun just because I have the money is a fucking problem.
Yeah.
A common sense. All right. First of all, a common sense law would have to.
Anybody that sells a gun.
Wait. A common sense law would have to be capable of being enforced first and foremost. Secondly, when it comes to being a felon and being able to buy a gun, I also believe as a felon, you should have a right to freedom of speech and any other right given to you and promised to you by your governments, including voting as well.
Not necessarily the right to buy firearms, though.
You know what? I don't mind a guy that got convicted of robbing a store with a gun, getting his right to vote back. But the motherfucker shouldn't be able to buy a gun.
Now, granted, you could argue that there are some things that shouldn't necessarily be felonies, but that's a different argument.
Right. So, So the right to own a gun is an outgrowth of one's right to self-defense, and a reasonable one at that. When it comes to the gun used by the majority of the population, which is basically a handgun, that is an outgrowth because this is the one most commonly possessed. And if you forbid certain people if you prevent people to have the capacity to defend themselves, then that's exactly what you do. It's an in principle argument. If you can block someone from having a computer, from any kind of writing instruments, and say they still still say they have freedom of speech, yeah, I'd also be against that as well. The capacity to buy and share ideas is also a part of the First Amendment right, and consequences be damned, it should not be something the government has a right to infringe upon.
But if you are a hacker and the federal government catches you, they can ban you from accessing any computer ever again.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Okay, that much I'll agree with you on. But if the government was to ban you from accessing pen and paper or any kind of publishing material, would you agree with me that was the government utilizing whatever means they can to silence you?
Oh no, I'm not talking about pen and paper. I'm talking about accessing a machine that you used to cause harm to other people, whatever kind of harm that was.
The main point I was just bringing up was that the government can, in principle, prevent you from exercising a certain right by preventing you from accessing the means to them. Would you not agree with me that the government, not only the computer for reasons of hacking, but extending that to pen and paper, publishing materials, all of that would also, in your mind, constitute the government attempting to infringe upon your right to an idea by way of blocking any means you have of spreading and sharing it?
I agree. I agree with the overall principle of that.
Okay.
But if the government can ban a hacker from owning a computer or accessing a computer or even sitting down at a library to use a computer, we can't get our heads around doing some logical fucking common sense gun laws. There
are gun laws that are already on the books. You do have to there are background checks that have to be done. You do.
But I just explained to you that there are ways around those background checks in many places, and I could go down the street tomorrow and prove it to you.
If somebody sells you a gun, is that not a crime?
It would be if they didn't know it wouldn't be if they didn't know I was a felon. And how would they not know I was a felon unless they checked?
Without
a background check, they wouldn't know, is the point.
All right.
And even if I never did anything wrong with that gun that I bought, it's still illegal for me to own. And if I get caught with it, I'm going to pay the price. The person that sold me the gun is not going to pay the price.
All right. And how would you suggest people enforce that law?
If you sell a fucking gun to someone that's used in a crime and you didn't do a fucking proper background check, you get the same fucking sentence they get.
All right. And how would they track it down? And how would they track it back to the person who sold it?
Because it's on record that you sold someone, that you did a background check for this gun on this person, blah, blah, blah.
So you want to turn any kind of gun exchange into you want to make sure any gun exchange is recorded or on record?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Basically, one way that you do it is that the registration number, you have your registration on the gun, you have the serial number on the gun. The serial number belongs to the person. If a crime is committed by the gun with that serial number, the person responsible is whoever owns that gun.
What if someone stole?
Then if somebody steals a gun, you report it stolen, don't you?
sometimes guns can be stolen from you without your notice. Sometimes the gun can be stolen from you without your notice, and sold off, and a crime could have been committed. Sometimes firearms can go missing.
Yeah, you can if you can show that it was stolen, then great, you know.
Okay.
Otherwise,
what-
pay more fucking attention to your firearms.
Why should guilt? Wait. Here's a question. Why is it that? Wait. Why is innocent? Why is there innocence? Why should I prove my own innocence? You should prove my guilt.
Actually, your argument is, well, what if they're an irresponsible gun owner?
A gun can be stolen from you, and it's not a sign of
I'm shutting up to let Jackie talk.
Yeah. So the thing that frustrates me here is that I have a couple different things to say. And Kevin's probably not gonna like what I have to say, but I am disgusted at the American attitude towards guns and how guns are essentially like trophies, and there's a huge culture behind it, and everyone wants to collect them. These are machines that are built to cause harm. They're built to kill animals. They're built to kill humans. Why would anyone want to praise or glorify these machines? It doesn't make sense to me. It never had made sense to me.
Because some people deserve to die. It's that easy.
I don't believe that. I don't believe.
Okay. There's
let Jackie finish, please.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. So there's that. That's more of an emotional argument, and I admit that. I just wanted to start there because I have a few more things to say. What frustrates me the most is that we're required to register our vehicles, but and we're required to go pass all these tests
and insure them,
have all these tests done, and all this stuff to own a vehicle, to drive a vehicle, but we don't treat gun ownership with the same caution. And just because something is in the books or right in the Constitution doesn't mean I agree with it, right? So, like, everyone treats the Constitution like it's the end-all be-all thing. I mean, if it was this end-all be-all thing, then we wouldn't have women's voting rights, we wouldn't have civil rights, we wouldn't have all these amendments to the Constitution. Some things need to change, in my opinion, and that includes a guarantee to guns. I don't think felons should have guns. I think you need to take a class for how to use a gun in order to own a gun. I think you need to pass a test to own a gun. And you should be limited to the amount of guns you have.
Oh, okay.
That's my opinion.
Cool. And I'll start from the beginning why I disagree. First of all, yeah, some people do deserve to die. And frankly, a right to self-defense should be a right to self-defense and the defense of others should be a celebrated aspect of any culture. If someone's across the street and they're about to kick a baby, or they have been, running across the street to tackle that person or go about them is frankly wasting too many precious seconds. The easiest thing to do would be just to whip out a gun and shoot the son of a bitch. And before anyone says, oh, it's just assault, it's a baby. Kicking an infant is basically life or death. Second of all, when it comes to a car is not a right. I'm sorry. It just isn't. A gun is meant to cause harm, but a car does actually kills. From what I hear, car deaths actually do more harm in killing and taking lives. And unlike a gun, if it's properly secured, it's not going to hurt anyone. A car, when it is on the road, is an active danger to everybody around it. So it could even be argued that a car is a more dangerous mechanism around you. And third of all, when it comes to the Constitution being an end-all be-all, it's granted. If you want to change the Constitution, and we have in the past, we have a constitutional convention, but I am sick and tired of the gun control side of the aisle who just wants to do any kind of who really just wants to sneak around that and pass a law without considering it. I mean, part of being a country of laws is that you work within the system and within the law. Just going even further, when it comes to the limits of guns you could have, what if you buy a gun 1 month? What if you buy a gun as a gift for somebody else, and then the next day, you find out you have a stalker who's about to kill you? Should somebody be limited on that much? I don't think so.
We're talking about the kinds of guns.
I'm not done. There's actually a lot to respond to in there. When it comes, there are already enough books on law that are good enough to enforce, and the government doesn't seem to have too big an issue with. When it comes to actual murders, more people die from most baseball bats are more active in causing death than guns.
Oh my God, you're not going to go there, really?
I just did.
No, just let him finish because I have responses.
Okay.
Are you
And-
done?
All right.
No,
and
okay.
one more thing. And as to why guns should be a right, I didn't appeal just to the Constitution. My main point is every human being has a right to defend their own lives and defend the lives of others. And by forbidding the common means of defending oneself, the government is in fact infringing upon said rights. That is the basis for why it is a right. I have a right over my life. Then no one can take that from me, and I have a right to defend it. I have a right to say whatever I want, and no one should be able to take that away from me because my opinions are mine.
All right,
Actually,
before you go,
you
Jackie,
don't.
before you go, Jackie, let me just say this. Max, you live in Canada, right?
Oh, I do.
Okay. You don't have the same gun rights we do.
I'd like to point out that with freedom of speech,
I don't have rights.
In terms of freedom of speech, there are limitations on free speech. Like, for example, yelling fire in a crowded movie theater.
Oh, that's not a limitation, and I can explain why. First of all, the freedom of speech is about the expression of ideas. It's not about being able to make any sound or noise you want. The point of when somebody is yelling speech in a crowded theater, the end isn't to express an idea. The end is to cause a commotion and a disruption. There's actually a brilliant response to this kind of rhetoric taken and done by Christopher Hitchens. I'd point it out to anyone who's interested. When it comes to Canadians, I'm sorry, but we barely have rights. Unfortunately, the Canadian system is predicated about through benefits we have at the whims of the Crown. The Crown can disband Parliament on a lark, and they have done so.
Now,
Oh my God! Now I'm forgetting all the points that I have to respond to before. Can you just bullet point them again, Epi, if you remember?
Not off the top of my head. If you like, I could just write them out and copy pasta. Actually, it's 3:00 and I have a class at 9:30. Could I? I'm sorry to excuse myself at this point.
Nah, it's okay. If you gotta go, you gotta go. That's fine, man. People have lives.
Okay.
And you know,
But I did want to say just real quick, like number one, I know you get appeal to the Constitution. I was just saying that, like, a lot of people here in America appeal to the Constitution, and I'm not saying let's go behind its back and make a law that contradicts it. I'm saying we should go in and amend the Constitution before we do anything else.
the Constitution,
the
Constitution is a living, breathing thing that can change.
It can when it comes to it being.
Hold on.
The American Constitution was initially, in terms of the Second Amendment, was initially supposed to be dealing with well-regulated militias. that
A militia.
was actually opened up by some Supreme Court decisions. Just not too long ago. Technically, it was in the 1900s, I believe.
What is the
Okay.
okay? According, I'm just gonna excuse myself really quick. I promise. But in response to that whole constitutional approach, the militia just meant the armed masses. It doesn't mean
Actually,
execution
the wording was well-regulated militia.
Yes, that's not
Hold
what it
on.
meant
I
in the
wanted
common
to
parlance in
respond
the
to
18th
the
century.
vehicle.
All right, let Jackie go real quick.
Sorry, just real quick, the vehicle thing. Okay, yes, vehicles cause more harm, yada yada, but vehicles were built as a mode of transportation. They were not designed purely to kill people. Guns, their purpose is to kill.
Actually,
Their
they
purpose
were.
is to cause harm. Whether or not it's offensive or defenses, they were built to cause harm. And also, no one ever said that kicking a baby is, oh, it's just assault. I'm pretty sure most people would say, oh my god, kicking a baby, you're probably gonna murder the child. I think most people would have an extreme emotional reaction to that. And I'm not sure what the answer would be to that kind of situation, but I know I've seen statistics and studies. I wouldn't be able to pull them off on the top of my head in the short period of time we have right now. But from what I understand and what I know, I've seen studies that show that the number of situations where you would need a gun to stop some public crime or the number of times it would be effective or would even happen is so significantly low that it's not worth allowing
I just
carrying.
want to say this about the kicking the baby thing. Let me say this. If you're standing outside and you see a guy across the street kicking a baby and you don't have your firearm on you, because who really walks around their house with their gun strapped, and you see someone across the street kicking a baby, and you think, I need to help that baby, is your first response going to be, I need to run inside and get my gun? Or are you going to go directly towards where that baby is and help the baby now? Or hopefully the baby's not kicked in the head till it's dead while I go get my gun.
Most people actually have a concealed carry or open carry. In fact, that's
bullshit, dude.
That is actually one of the things my side pushes and argues for.
Actually, do you know what the process is to get the concealed carry, Max?
Yes, I know it's a bit of a legal process, and I know not all states have it.
And also, with the kind of training you have to go through to actually get that, it kind of comports with what Jackie says.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is, if you're at your house, most times you're not packing. If you're standing out in your front yard mowing your fucking lawn, you're not carrying your piece because you feel pretty comfortable.
That's not the point. That wasn't the point. The point of the exercise, the point of the thought of the situation I placed was there are a lot of instances wherein having a gun makes self-defense and the defense of others a whole lot easier. That was just one situation I could easily grab off the top of my head. Another, by the way,
I'd like to think that you're not proposing shooting them in the face is option one. That's all I was going to say.
By the way, I'm going soon, and I just want to break off the points, and I'll leave you guys to pick at them as you see fit. As George Mason himself, who was a founding father, said, "Who is the militia?" I say it is the whole of the populace, with the exception of a few public officials. The term militia was a reference to the vulgar militia, which was, the population who could just be called upon to defend their country. It doesn't mean what we think it means today, it's an institution that's governed and trained by the federal government.
This negates the words well-regulated how?
Because the term well-regulated in the 17th, because I was just illustrating how it's defined in the context of which it was written and what it is intended to mean and what the words on the document meant.
And you know what those weapons were when that document was written? Muskets.
Oh, do you know what people use to write words? They use the printing press. Are you saying that freedom of speech shouldn't be governed on the internet then? And by the way, they actually did
Oh my
have.
God, that's a fucking straw man, dude.
No,
Don't
it's
even
not.
fucking
No,
go there.
no, it's not. You said that it should be limited to muskets, and I'm saying, well, why not just limit the First Amendment?
No, that's not what he said. What he was indicating, Max, is that since the amount of damage, basically the amount of damage that can be done with a gun now is very different than back then. There is a differential there. Back when you're dealing with a musket, you fire, you then have to spend the time to reload. It was very different. It wasn't this whole you could fucking spray a crowd with it.
Actually, there were guns that could spray crowds, and that worked.
Not
There were, yes, there was
dude,
at that
fuck you,
time.
man.
I can actually show
Private
you.
individuals did not own Gatling guns, Max.
And Gatling guns didn't
Also,
exist until the 1800s.
That's true as
Cannons
well.
Cannons were also covered under the Second Amendment too by one of the. I forget the name of the founding father, but yeah, cannons were also covered under there. So make it that way you will. No,
Okay,
I'm trying to. The pellet, not. I'm trying to remember.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to remember the name of the.
Kill this conversation.
No, there was.
Max,
I think
hang
we
on.
just better stop.
Wait, Max. You have shit to do in the morning. Call it a night, man.
Hold on, I have one more thing to say to Effie though, and it is super important, and it had a lot to do with birthdays. And happy birthday, man.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday.
I actually didn't know until I just
I ain't
looked on
mad at you, Max.
Facebook. So
I ain't mad at you, Max. I understand your position because it's the position of every NRA ditto head that ever existed.
wait, everyone shut up. Just have a good moment for just a second. Forget about guns. How old did you turn today?
I turned 25. Oh, and by the way, the Peckel gun, which was the first Gatling gun, was made in 1718. Thanks for asking. Bye. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Let's see if this will switch all right. Oops, I think I just lost audio again. Let me get back in here. See if we can fix this sucker. Give me a second. This is an argument that goes back and forth. Oh, what do you know? The plugin crashed. That's lovely. This happens. Hey, Gretchen, how's it going? See if I can get this going again. I'm probably have to close out of the browser and go back in. That's always a nuisance. Yep, sure enough. Here we go. Now, let's reload this puppy. Dun, dun, dun. I always love when this shit happens. I ended up having to restart earlier because this thing was being a fickle little thing. I might have to actually switch browsers. We'll find out. Yep, sure enough. I don't know what's going on with that lately. I got a love the reliability of Chrome and all these other darn browsers. Let me get out of these windows here right quick, and we will see if we can get back in the Hangout. Especially because it means I'm going to have to log into a different browser. Nah, it's not the rain. I'm not sure what's been going on. I'm probably going to have to see about reloading the plugin at some point. I don't know what's going on with this today. What I do know is that I have a random cough all of a sudden, which is kind of annoying. I'm trying not to cough in y'all's ears, but I will be back in there in a moment. I think they got tired of the bullshit there. Come on. Let's switch accounts here. There we go, because I have to get the moderator logged on here. Okay. Incidentally, while I have a moment here, I thought I'd see about asking a question to the chat. We have somebody in there called Africanus didn't do nothingness. And I'm starting to wonder, based upon the way that I'm seeing you talk and react with people, wondering exactly what black exploitation movie you walked out of. Just curious. Let's see now. There we go. Whoops, missed a letter. That might help. And almost there. And let's try this. Of course, this might mean that I may not be able to select a screen region, but at least we can get the audio going again. Come on. Oh, we're fucking up again. Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, I might end up having to call it tonight because of this core shit. Come on. We're gonna load or not. Tra-la-la-la. Let's see if I have to stop this shit or not. That's browser number 2. This looks like it's screwing up. I have to figure out what's going on here. I'm thinking that there's a general problem with the plugin. Might have to uninstall and reload the Google plugin. Yep, it's being a bitch. Well, that sucks. Anyway, unfortunately, due to technical bullshit, it looks like I'm going to have to call it for the moment. We may end up going back live in a few minutes, but for the moment, I'm going to cut this and I'm going to do a quick restart and then I'm going to try and jump back in. So I'll see y'all in a few.